Welcome back to the Built to Lead podcast. I'm Edgar Cabello, one of the leadership directors here at Lippert, and excited to be with my friend Kyle Magnuson. Going to introduce him in just a moment. What we're doing this season is we're kind of unpacking that idea about being a business as a force for good. Okay, so the angle that we've taken is we want to meet the faces of the force. The faces of the force. You like that?
I do.
That sounds kind of powerful.
Yes, it does.
And so you're like one of the first faces that we're introducing, Kyle, and we're really excited to be here with you today. So Kyle Magnuson has been with Lippert for about 18, 20 months, something in that neighborhood there. Works on our Axle team over here, and just a great dude. But go ahead, introduce yourself, Kyle. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, my name is Kyle Magnuson. I like long walks on the beach.
Okay.
I am 31 years old. I like to think I've done a lot of different things. I like to try new things. I've been working axles now for, like you said.
And I'm guessing you're the only guy in axles that used to play the cello.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's an interesting fact about you.
It is.
Right.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
And for anybody that's listening and not watching right now, Kyle's also a former football player. We'll get into that in just a little bit, and you can kind of tell by looking at him. But more than that, he's a wonderful guy. He's been a really great addition to our team on the axle line, and has moved into a management role here in recent months. And so it's been really cool. But before we get too deep into that, is there a song that's been stuck in your head for a little while? What's the last song that was stuck in your head? Maybe that's a better way to ask the question.
Actually, I've funny you say that, because when I get a song stuck in my head, I have to listen to it over and over and over and over and over.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah. So on the way here, actually, to work today, Old Dominion, they have this song, I Was on a Boat Today. I literally listened to that song the entire way here.
Really?
Yep.
You had it on repeat?
On repeat, yep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Uh-huh.
That's an interesting question. Are you going to ask me?
Yeah. What song do you have stuck in your head?
I'm glad you asked. So last song that's been stuck in my head is I'm not a classics guy, but Moon River.
Really?
Moon River, but I like the James Taylor version. If you want to hear the best Moon River version, James Taylor was fantastic. But I got to tell you, I listened to the original Audrey Hepburn one from Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I got a little emotional. I got to tell you. So, but it's a really powerful song. So, anyways,
it is a great song, though.
Great. Thank you for being here, man. Like this, Kyle's a really fun guy. I want you to, if you wouldn't mind, just telling us a little bit about your start in life. You have an interesting story, like what it was like to live in the Magnuson family and all that kind of stuff. Tell us a little bit about growing up in your household.
Yeah. So, my dad, he was in the Navy when I was first born. So he actually was in the Persian Gulf when I was born. We were stationed out in Norfolk, Virginia. And so I lived there for about 5 years of my life. It was one of those kind of, those things that I didn't really know anything different. It was, Dad was off, in the Navy, and, Mom was, teaching. And, that's just kind of how it was. Once he was done, though, so 5 years afterwards, he ended up getting discharged, and he didn't really have any anything lined up, and he's like, what, I think I'm going to be a dentist.
Yeah.
So he went to med school. We moved back here to the great state of Indiana.
Okay.
And he started taking classes. Mom supported us. She was a teacher, and Dad, he went to Indianapolis, to med school, and we would see him on the weekends. Yeah. Summers we would go and see him, and we didn't really know any better, but we were camping. We'd camp pretty much all summer, and we would, Dad would go to school, whatever, and. We would eat beans out of a can. Like, it was just kind of like one of those things that we didn't know any better. Like, I was living in a tent, in the forest, and that was sweet when you're,
right. So your dad's in
6, 7.
dental school.
Yep.
Mom's teaching. You're a little kid.
Yep.
Eating beans out of a can.
Yeah.
So basically, your dad's trying to make his path in the world. Mm-hmm. You're poor, but you don't know it.
I didn't know it. No, I had no idea. And it was interesting, because you don't really think of that until you're older.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy cow, like Mom and Dad put it all on the line for us.
Got it.
Dad busted his butt to try and, be a dentist, and, he succeeded.
Wow.
You don't think about, what would have happened, if, he wouldn't have. I asked him before. I was like, Dad, like, what happens if you, wouldn't become a dentist? Like, what would have happened? He's like, well, there wasn't any other option.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yep.
And so, that work ethic, that, sort of sacrifice, putting everything you have, like, that's kind of like how I try and do things to this day.
So then now you're growing up, and you've seen this path that your dad has carved out for your family.
Yeah.
And now you're moving into high school, and you're a bit of self-discovery. And so what starts happening in your life? You're a growing boy at this point, right?
Exactly,
and probably got the big can of beans now to kind of help sustain your growth and all. So what's going on with you as you're going into high school? What are you discovering at this point?
Well, at this point, I wanted to be something. I didn't know. I mean, I had kind of bounced around from place to place, and I get to high school, and I wanted, who am I? And I have some friends or some people that I looked up to. They're playing football.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think I'd like to try football.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started playing football. I had a great coach at Concord where I went to school. Tim Dawson was his name.
Okay. What made Tim a great coach?
His ability to reach kids.
Okay.
His ability to, if he came into this room right now, his demeanor, I mean, you recognize him. He's 6'5", deep voice, but heart of gold.
Gotcha.
And I remember after my freshman year, I kind of liked football. It was like, oh, okay, this is, I might be a football player. And we have a meeting at the end of the year with the head coach, and the head coach, he wants to meet with everyone in the program. And here I am, a little freshman. I'm petrified walking into this room, and Tim Dawson sits me down and says, Kyle, he said, I don't tell very many of my players this. He's like, you have potential to be great.
Yeah.
And that hit me. Like, I was like,
how many years ago was that? Like, you still remember that, man?
Oh,
like,
I will never forget that.
Yeah.
Sitting down, I'm petrified, thinking that, this guy's going to tell me, he's like, I don't know that, I'm slow, I'm, not big enough, whatever, I need to do this. And he, tells me I have potential to be great.
What did that do, man? What happened inside of you?
Something.
Okay.
It sparked, I at that moment, I was going to do whatever it took. I was going to take everything that I had known up to that point, which was, invest 100% in everything you do. And
so let's fast forward this a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
End of your high school career.
Yep.
That spark, fire it got lit, right?
Yeah.
By Coach Dawson.
Yep.
What's happening now? Like, so take us to senior year. You're a senior at Concord.
Yep. So senior year, my goal, actually before my senior year, was getting recruited pretty heavily. I had about, I think, 5 scholarship offers, Division I scholarship offers. Before my senior year, I committed to University of Wyoming. I was done. I was tired. They were the first ones to give me a scholarship. I was going to honor it.
Okay.
So I ended up, going into my senior year, not worrying about, college.
Great.
I just wanted to play my senior year. I wanted to, we were the guys that I'd played with, the guys that I looked up to, that freshman year, my friends, we all, wanted to, go back down to state.
Fantastic. So you're a growing kid, can of beans, dad's in school, becomes a dentist.
Mm-hmm.
Something gets lit inside of you to really go for it. Now you're about to be a Division I football player. Yeah. At the University of Wyoming. So you're becoming a Cowboy now, right?
Exactly.
About to move out west.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a little bit of taste of what your college experience was like.
Oh, college was wild. Not the party aspect, but I mean, going out west, the whole different, atmosphere. We talked about some small towns, a little bit ago, Bern, Indiana. I will tell you, Laramie, Wyoming, and the surrounding area, there's not a whole lot out there.
Big sky.
Yes. Oh, it was beautiful out there. But it was football and college. Yeah. School, academia, and just trying to get better. I played, a lot of good football out there. Played some great teams. Have some great experiences. Some great friends actually. I have a friend who's getting married here this summer. Will be in his wedding.
What would one or two things that you learned from the big time college experience? So your Division I,
Yeah.
like what's something you walked away with? Like, yeah, they drilled that down real well.
One of the biggest things is, believe it or not, is humility.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't matter, where you're from,
Yeah.
who you are. When you go and play Division I football, it's pretty much an even playing field.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you were. It's
Yeah.
about about I guess working hard.
Right on.
Which leads me to the next thing is hard work.
Yeah.
I again put everything I had into being a college athlete.
Yeah.
I worked my butt off, and it paid off.
Yeah. Dad probably had a little bit to do with that too, right?
Oh yeah.
So you're coming out. Were you thinking I want to be drafted? I mean, you were thinking pros at this point.
Yeah. I was definitely thinking pros. I actually I had an agent. He had told me he had talked to a few teams, whatever, and they were thinking about drafting me. In the later rounds.
Okay.
And so I was pretty excited. I was thought, okay, this is going to be my story. This is how it's gonna pan out.
So, draft happens.
Yep, draft happens.
Name's not called.
Name's not called. Nope.
What happens next?
Actually, I ended up getting a call from Oakland telling me that they would like me to come to their camp or whatever.
Okay.
So
here's your shot.
Yep, there's my shot. I got a shot at Oakland.
And as it turns out, you're about to become a teacher now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
didn't work out.
Yep. And that's one of those things.
It's good you can smile about it, man. I'm glad.
yeah. No, life has a funny way of changing course.
For sure. And so that did, like, now you got a total change of direction.
Mm-hmm.
You decide to hang up the cleats, right?
Exactly.
Because you could have gone CFL or some other route.
I could have, yeah.
Yeah.
Ottawa Red Blacks had called. They had offered me a contract, but at that point I didn't want to be
not too attractive. Time to do something else.
Exactly.
You move on. You become a teacher. So teachers, that DNA is in your family.
Yeah,
a lot of teachers there.
Yeah, my mom's a teacher, aunt and uncle are teachers, sister's a teacher.
Yeah. So it made sense for you.
Yeah.
Yep. And you did about how much time? What were you doing as a teacher? What grade and
science?
So okay.
Actually, 7th grade science. I did that for 4 years, and then I did engineering and technology. It was offered to me, something different.
Right.
And I enjoyed it. I did. So
at some point, you've been trained to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a teacher. You're working.
Yep.
But you're like, what's going through your head? Because now you're thinking career change, and that's kind of the on ramp in terms of how you got to us over here at Lippert,
exactly.
Right? Yep.
So yeah, when I was teaching, I was also coaching.
Okay.
So that was I wanted to do that. I wanted to give back to the Concord, give back to I had all this knowledge of football, so that's what I wanted to do, but I ended up getting married, starting a family.
Okay.
I had 2 kids, and it was to the point where it's kind of hard to make it on a teacher salary.
Right. Yeah. So that brings you here. Tell us how you got to Lippert. Like I know that we have some Concord folks around here.
Yeah.
But how did you get here? And then start to talk about your experience since you've been here.
Yeah. So actually it's kind of funny. So I had taught with Eric Nielsen, the GM. When he was teaching, and it was kind of funny, when he left, and one of the last things I said to him is, "Hey, remember me? Someday I might be asking for a job." And I didn't really think anything of it, but fast forward 5 years later, and I ended up reaching out to a few people, and lo and behold, I get a text from Eric Nielsen saying, "Hey man, what's going on?"
Yeah.
He's like, "We'd really love to have you at Lippert." I was like, "Oh, Eric." It's
Now, long after you join the team, you're jumping into axles. I
Yes.
think a lot of people have heard us talk a lot about axles. It's a big part of our business here at Lippert. What's it like out there? Like, what's the environment out with the axle team? The work they're doing. Describe that give people a taste.
It is not. I've never seen anything like it.
Okay.
After all my experiences, whatever. But I start here. It's a dirty environment. It's high speed. You're going constantly. It's go, 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 go.
Right.
And that's how it is all day from the time that you get in, and you have to stretch. You have to stretch. You have to warm
It's
up.
funny, isn't it? Because like it's a lot like athletics, isn't it? I mean,
is.
I've noticed that myself. It's like when, and I've even heard people throw that phrase around sometimes. They call them manufacturing athletes. Like some people that do extraordinary things. You see it, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Like you see the people that have had their hands on the product or the process for a long time, and it's kind of amazing, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and there I can tell you right now, I challenge anyone to go down there and do what those guys do right now.
Yep.
It's grueling.
Talk about the grueling part of it. I don't like lifting axle pipe. I've seen that, and I was like, okay, I'm making maybe 1 or 2 on a good day for me, and these guys are doing it all
day.
Yep,
all day, and it's little tiny parts. Trying to screw everything in, and as you're doing this, remember, the entire line is moving.
Yeah.
So you have a certain amount of time that you are trying to get, your process done.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you also have to do your checks as well to make sure that, quality is on point.
And quality is so vitally important because people's vehicles will be riding on these axles.
Exactly.
And I think that's the part that as that becomes more in view for our people, they understand, yeah, we're not just trying to push out a really excellent product, but people's lives actually depend on this. Mm-hmm. I mean, would you say that's what our awareness is there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it is. And, when there's a quality error and there's a, which doesn't happen too often, but when there is, people take it very, very seriously.
Good. Yeah, that's a good mark of a healthy environment, I think. So, Kyle, you came in as somebody who's just kind of getting familiar with the whole thing. You've started to move into a more of a leadership role. Talk to me about what it's like being a leader on that team.
And being a leader on that team is it's awesome because you have the respect of the guys on the floor. You have all these people that are running around frantically, and they're they're doing their jobs. And they come to you with these questions, or they look up to you as to get whatever it is done, and it's I don't know, it's just really neat. It goes back to the coaching aspect of it. It goes back to the teaching aspect of it. Any question, anything at all, you're trying to get them an answer as soon as possible because as much work as they're putting in, you have to try and match that.
What were you doing before we sat down to have this interview? You just told me a little bit ago.
So but before before this, I was actually sanding pipe. I'm actually probably all dirty right now. We have a certain customer wants everything to be spot on. All of them do.
Sure.
But this one we're taking more precautions.
Gotcha.
So it's making sure that everything is buffed out.
And it's kind of interesting because, like, as a leader, I wouldn't necessarily expect that you're the guy that's going to do the sanding. But, like, I know you have a certain way of thinking about that, right? It's part of the way you lead.
Yeah. So if I'm going to ask someone to do something, it's something that I better be willing to do as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go down there and I'm going to sand the pipe and, this time and, next time, something pops up and I'm like, hey, remember when I sanded that pipe? And it's like, okay, I want you to do that.
Right.
And, if something pops up that, we don't have anyone to do that, I'll,
you got to jump in. That's what the team loves about Kyle, from my understanding, is just his demonstration of our core values and our leader qualities and his ability to jump in with the team when needed. And so I know you're well regarded, my friend, in our environment here at Lippert. And so I want to definitely applaud that. I guess I have one more question for you, man. Like when you think about, because you've got a really interesting mix of experience, grew up in a home where a lot was going on, a military family, now a dentist family, camping, because that's like what the family could afford.
Yep.
Then you move on, and now you're looking at Division I football. Then you go into a teaching career, and now you're working in a factory. Like, how do all those pieces make sense in your mind?
Surprisingly, yes.
Yeah.
They all fit together.
Okay.
And it's chaos, but it isn't at the same time. You have all these life lessons that I've learned throughout the years, and I can apply each and every single one of them to the manufacturer.
Right on. Yeah, it sounds like it when I listen to you. So give me one thing then before we close here. Give me one bit of advice. So you said you're now in your 30s.
Yeah.
What's one bit of advice that 31-year-old Kyle would give to, say, 21-year-old Kyle?
Go out there and do it. Don't let, any fear, anything at all, hold you back. Just go and do it.
Right on. I love that. Dude, thank you so much, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's been good talking to you today.
Good talking to you
It's
too.
a lot of fun. On your way home, I'm guessing you're going to listen to Old Dominion again.
Probably
So. Okay, it's still on repeat.
I have
So
it on Amazon
I want to
now.
thank you all for joining us today on the Lippert Academy Built to Lead podcast. This has been Kyle Magnuson with me, one of our fantastic leaders here at Lippert. Understated, I got to tell you, but he's got a great reputation here. Kyle, thank you for being my guest today, and we hope that you take the opportunity to join us next time. I guess there's one thing that I need to cover before we go. A fantastic leadership development opportunity that's coming up in May. It's called the Purpose Summit. It's a conference going to be held at the University of Notre Dame. That's May 17th through 19th this year, 2022. A fantastic lineup. Find us at thepurposesummit.com or look us up on LinkedIn to find out the lineup of guests and speakers. I think you'll be blown away. It would be worth your time and investment. Please bring you and your team along with you. Again, thank you for joining us on the Built to Lead podcast. We'll talk to you next time.